Welcome everybody back to Boost Emotion, guys. And today I have a video, guys, for you guys. This has come from you guys asking me 1,000,001 questions. No, actually, I only got one question about it. What is walnut blasting? And do you need an old catch can? Hit that intro. Welcome everybody back to Boost Emotion, guys. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night. Thank you. Welcome everybody back. Welcome everybody back to the channel. First thing, you already know, if you are part of the Boost Emotion family, guys, that means please and thank you that you already hit the like button. And if you're new to this Boost Emotion channel, I am Boost Emotion. I'm into the VR community, Nissan Infiniti since like day one. But nonetheless, I actually like to share information that may come across and answer questions that you guys may bring to me. So, guys, let's do a quick screen share. And what the hell am I talking about walnut blasting? What am I talking about oil catch cans? Anyways, let's do a quick screen share because I was asked this question, I gotta say, at least 5 times in the last 5 years. That means you guys don't ever ask me these questions. So I want to share this post, and this is from a couple of years ago from an old Q50 Q60 enthusiast. Now he said, "All right, guys, I need your input. Each of my intake valves looks like this. Should I have them cleaned out or being the way to OCD at this direct injection car and carbon oil buildup is expected?" Right. I'm not going to go detail based on what he wrote, but as you guys can sit there and see, there's a lot of gunk. There's a lot of buildup inside this intake track. Now, some of you guys are like, "What am I looking at, Boost? Why is it so dirty? I don't want my engine looking this dirty. What can I do to actually solve this?" All right, so briefly get you guys to understand, because you probably also asking, what the hell is direct injection? Some of you guys just drive your cars and don't know. Anyways, direct injection is pretty much simple as it is. Inject. The injectors are actually in the combustion chamber, per se. So on engines, you have port injection, you have direct injection. Direct injection is where when the gasoline is released directly into the combustion chamber. That means when the explosion happens, the tip of that injector is in there. Yes. With port injection, it's not inside the combustion chamber. It's before the valves. Now that valve is that dirty thing that you see there, that little thing that with the little whatever connected to it. That's a valve, your intake valve, and that's where you bring in the fresh air. Your motor either pushes it in or sucks it in. Right. Now, on port injection cars, they don't have this issue at all. They usually don't have much gunk. Like usually because with port injection, because the fuel is released in the intake track, gasoline is like its own solvent, its own cleaner. So if it's being sprayed on something, usually that thing remains pretty clean. But with indirect injection, because the injectors aren't there, there's no way to clean it. So now you guys are gonna ask me, so Boost, so where does this dirt come from? Air is not dirty. Like, is what the hell is this? So remember we talked about the combustion chamber has a piston, it has cylinder walls, wink, wink, wink. Fast forward. Now, when your car has its combustion cycle, all that exhaust that goes out, not all of it goes out. Some of it actually goes past the piston and cylinder sidewalls into your crankcase, or pretty much the lower part of your motor, to make it simple. Now, this gaseous air just needs to still go out of the car, right? It's not supposed to be vented to the air. It's not good for you guys to breathe. It damages the earth. So what most modern engines do is it recycles that crankcase or blow-by gases back into the intake track through the PCV valve system, and then once again it gets sucked into the intake track and then gets burnt again. It's its own way of keeping the pressure differences between the combustion chamber and the intake track. I'm kind of messing up. I want to keep it on task with you guys, so I want you guys to really start getting confused. But nonetheless, it reuses this air as a combustion. Cool. So this dirty blow-by gases has, let's say, oil vapors and other byproducts of combustion, right? And the PCV valve system is supposed to pretty much regulate that pressure difference. But even through that, it still sucks in a lot of this gases, which goes into your intake tract, and then it builds up like this over a certain amount of mileage. Cool. So boost. Now I understand what the hell you're talking about. How can we mitigate this? What are some of the things we can do? Number one is an oil catch can, right? It is an oil catch can. With the oil catch can, that PCV valve we're talking about there, you can put that oil catch can in the line. And what it would do is it uses a baffling system inside of an actual can. That's why I call it an oil catch can. And it allows that hot air or hot vapor gases to cool. Any solids or liquids will collect and drip to the bottom. And anything that's lighter than air or light as air will get sucked into the intake manifold, which will mitigate or reduce the amount of carbon buildup over a certain amount of mileage. All catch cans are not created equal. The cheap ones are usually just there for looks, while other ones that are a lot more expensive usually use a very sophisticated baffling system. All right, Boost. Well, I get an oil catch can that get mitigated, but what about this walnut blasting you're talking about? Thank you guys for asking that question. So I want to share this one with you too. So walnut blasting. Let's take a look at some photos right here. Now, well, shout out to Yu. This is about a year old. He showed that his car has carbon buildup. Let me see if he have. He says he has about 20,000 miles and carbon buildup on his intake valves were really bad, and this is a common issue for DI engines. So he showed you the carbon buildup with just 20,000 miles of time on it. Insane. This is how 20,000 miles look like. And the reason why you want to clean this up is over time, these carbon pieces could actually fall inside the motor and cause a little bit more issues. Also, if it builds up enough, it actually messes up the seat where the valve would actually close to have a pretty good seal. So once again, it's good to get this stuff done over time. Now, the second thing, walnut blasting, is this procedure I'm gonna show you guys here. So he's showing the intake valves nice and clean after walnut blasting. You see how shiny it was, how shiny it is now, and some of that brown stuff you see around it is the walnuts. See, before, after. Let me show you guys the process. So pretty much, once again, it's showing you the dirty valves, right, and a clean one. Okay, see how clean that is, and this is some of the process. Shooting the walnuts in there and pretty much letting it beat up the whole walls. No pun intended. And he's just moving around. And he's also vacuuming any excess that might want to bounce around. All right? And this is the vacuum sucking out whatever is left in there. Just to make sure nothing got in the other valves. So that's pretty much the second way of actually getting this fixed. Well, then, Boost. So, I mean, he said he did at 20,000 miles. Like, should I do it? Like, is my car really giving me these issues? Well, I'm going to give you my own personal opinion here. The thing about it is, a lot of our cars are not going to show that they have this type of specific issue. This is like a preventative maintenance thing because when it finally goes bad, it will go bad and it will show its face. This is more of a preventative measure over a certain amount of time frame. Now, we gave two different ways on how to do it. Oil catch can. Second one is walnut blasting. I know there's another process. Someone's gonna comment below on it. But the next thing that you guys can actually do, in my own personal opinion, is you guys can use. Let me come back to me. You guys can use like a seafoam or a Tecron type of solvent. Usually, guys, what they do is through like a brake booster or brake line, any intake tube that allows the intake to be actually sucked in under vacuum. Sometimes you can actually put some of this liquid, and what it will do is it will condense and pretty much sit on top of these valves, and you're supposed to run the car. This is when you usually see like older cars show up a lot of brown smoke because they're doing like a fuel injector cleaning type of thing. You can do that too. But the only thing I don't like about that is number one, I don't know how good it is that to use on turbo cars. That's number one. Number two, how would you have proper even distribution on every valve? You know, we already have an irregular intake system, so I would assume the closer ones will probably get the most, and the farthest ones won't get pretty much any at all. So it's going to be a complete uneven way to actually clean those valves up. So I would say that's a third way of getting it done, but I wouldn't necessarily advise doing it because honestly, I don't have enough information on doing that. Now, nonetheless, you guys see carbon buildup. Boost. So now that I see what it is, I have, which car do I have? I have a lease 2022 Q50. Should I get an oil catch can? No, it's a lease. Sorry. I know you guys want me to care about the next car, but it's a lease. Don't waste your money on these parts if you're not keeping the car. Will I have a finance car? Well, I see that you guys should actually do this. You should definitely get an oil catch can. Well, then, Boost, I have 40,000 miles. Should I do walnut blasting now? I'm going to give you guys my honest opinion. I don't think so. I don't think so because this, don't beat me up, right? Just personally, me, I've been in this community for so long, and nobody has even come to me and really asked me about this type of specific issue. Now, when you talk about Audis and Volkswagens and other cars that have DI, they do this stuff at shorter intervals because I guess their PCB systems are not as good, or their cars build up a lot of these issues very quickly, right? And because they build up the stuff very quickly, they have to do their services a lot shorter. But there's people with 80, 90, 100,000 miles on their VR, and they're like, the car still runs perfectly fine. Not saying that their valves may not be tapping and making more noise than it usually does, but can they do it at their mileage? Yes. I would assume there will be some buildup, especially if it hasn't had a PCV valve. So the car will be better with it. The car will run a little and idle better with it. So if you know that you're going to have a higher amount of mileage, or if you have a high amount of mileage, 80, 90, 100K, and you already know you have the car for a while, I don't see a problem in doing so as long as you go to the proper specialist and make sure it's get done and done properly. But if you have under 50, 60K, I don't know anyone that has had this issue with this causing a really big thing for them. Honestly, like I've only had 5 people ask me about it, and they were asking about it because they came from other platforms. So shout out to you, one of the latest guys who asked me about it, and I said I'll make a video just for you. So I think this is super dope. Now, lastly, well boost. Well, let's say I don't want to do I don't want to do, let's say, walnut blasting, and I don't want to do the sea foam thing or the Tecron thing where you put a liquid inside. And I have an oil catch can. What is another way? Is there a way to like maybe go with port injection? To bring this video to a close, yes. Now, I think 1 or 2 companies do make a methane kit for this platform, and with methane, pretty much use this as an additive so you can bring down the air charge because it's a turbo car, right? But what you can also do is add specific fluid in there because it'll give you direct access to every runner, to every cylinder, and you can actually run this same fluid or liquid into every single runner for every cylinder. And over time, running that system with solvent would actually clean it out with a very light mist. You can do so. I don't know if methane is a little bit corrosive. You can probably use that too, but if you already added this port injection to it, then you can be able to do so. Not port injection, meth injection. But even thing I would add about it is meth injection is like a $1,600 modification when it's done right, as in you put a sandwich plate between the upper and lower intake manifold. So it's gonna be super expensive. But like to do every specific cylinder will just be a lot of time and effort. Honestly, at that point, just do walnut blasting. Take the intake manifold and do one by one. And add your oil catch can in, and that's really all you need to do. That's it. Don't kill yourself about it. And lastly, I know people gonna ask me, well, Boost, I see some companies that sell 2 oil catch can, one for every side of every bank. Do you recommend those? I've had an oil catch can on my old Q50, but my Q50 only had like 25,000 miles on it. Was it probably helping? Yes. Did I keep it in the car long enough? No, I got rid of the car. So I don't know the prolonged benefit of it. But even though for you guys who have the higher mile mileage, I still believe that an oil catch can will be beneficial. And if you know you're keeping the car for more extended miles, do the walnut blasting when you have that such high amount of miles. Outside of that, guys, you have a good morning, good afternoon, good night. Hopefully this video was informative. Please hit the like button if you already haven't. Hit the like button. And comment below if you think I missed something or if I'm wrong about something. I understand. I do read the comments, and I don't reply to all of them because I have so much videos and I just don't have the time to reply to all comments. But always sit there and say this. If you want to ask me any questions, hit me up at Boost in Motion on Facebook, IG, and boostinmotion on gmail.com if you have any questions. And anyone who knows me knows the answer to you guys' questions on all three of those social medias. But outside of guys, you have good morning, good afternoon, good night. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. Thank you for always banging with your boy Boost. Much love, and I love you guys very much, man. Thank you for always supporting the channel. Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Do appreciate you guys. Love you guys very much. You can also check out the 2 links I posted for some of my other videos. Also, on top of that, if you want to purchase some Boost in Motion merch, definitely check the link that I posted also. And finally, if you've been watching all my videos and you enjoy them, please hit the link to subscribe to my YouTube channel.